Hello everyone. Welcome to another episode of Bible Q&A. Today we're discussing how do we not deny Jesus like Peter? In the second half of Matthew chapter 26, even though Peter told Jesus that he would never abandon him, Jesus correctly predicted that he would deny him 3 times before a rooster crowed. In verses 69 to 75, 2 girls asked if Peter was one of Christ's followers, and he said no. And when a group confidently asserted that he knew him, he swore that he never knew him. Then the rooster crowed, and he cried. It's a pretty short story, but what can people learn from it? Well, the first lesson is, don't make promises you can't keep. If Peter never said that he'd stick with Jesus to the end, then Christ wouldn't have made that prophecy, and Peter wouldn't have gone off crying. Peter, of course, should have tried to not betray Jesus, but he didn't have to say that he wouldn't. As it was said in Deuteronomy, "But if thou shalt forbear to vow, it shall be no sin in thee." Deuteronomy chapter 23, verse 22. If you didn't say you would do something, or if you said you would but later refused early enough, no one can blame you for not doing it, compared to if you canceled last minute. The second lesson is, you have to learn to counter those negative thoughts that lead you to deny. Peter did have the intention of not betraying Jesus, but when he was actually placed in a challenging situation, he panicked. He started thinking about what would happen if he said yes. Would he be arrested too? Would people go after his family members? Eventually, he succumbed to pressure and denied Christ, to make those thoughts go away. This wasn't the first time this had happened to him. In Matthew chapter 14, verses 22 to 33, even after watching Jesus walk on water, Peter was scared he'd drown. What if he can't save me? What if some shark attacks me in the ocean? Those thoughts began to physically and emotionally weigh him down, so he started to sink. So what could he have done? What can we do? How do we not succumb to the pressure? Well, you can't get rid of those doubting thoughts. They aren't going anywhere. Whenever you face a challenge, you are naturally going to hear a voice in your head that tells you, you can't do it, you'll fail, might as well back down while you still can. What you can do, though, is think about these thoughts logically. For example, in the ocean, Peter should have asked himself, why wouldn't Jesus save me? What would he gain from leaving me to drown? That's what Christ himself was thinking in verse 31 when he said, O thou of little faith, wherefore didst thou doubt? Of course I wasn't going to let you sink. Why would you think otherwise? The same goes for his denial before the rooster crowed. Peter should have asked himself, what can these people do to me if I say yes? Arrest me? If the Pharisees wanted to do that, they would have done it after Judas identified Jesus. That was also Paul's attitude to Christ. As it was said in Romans, "For I am not ashamed of the gospel of Christ, for it is the power of God unto salvation to everyone that believeth, to the Jew first, and also to the Greek." Romans chapter 1, verse 16. So what if you don't like the message? Even if I stop preaching it, the whole world is going to know about it anyway. So what do I need to be scared about? Now, is this easy? Of course not. Everyone struggles with this. I struggle with this. But there is a little thing that makes it easier. Instead of letting that negative voice tempt you, you try to tempt it. If someone asks you a question about your faith, answer it. If you are being pressured into doing something you shouldn't, just refuse. See what happens. Make a wager with that voice. Chances are, you'll win. You won't suddenly become a social outcast. You won't be stared at weirdly every time you walk into a room. And even if you are, then that's just a sign that you shouldn't be hanging out with those people, according to 1 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 11. The more this happens, the more you beat your negative voice, the stronger your faith becomes, whether it's in God or in yourself. And eventually, you'll hardly even consider denying Jesus in the first place. And that is where I'm going to stop with this Bible Q&A. How do we not deny Jesus like Peter? We do this by dampening those thoughts that worry about the consequences of not denying him, with little bets and wagers every day. Thank you for listening! Don't forget to like and subscribe!